Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, minister and hypnotist, and welcome to PowerTalk, my video blog where I cover topics that interest me, but always focusing on how you can use the power of your mind to take control of your life. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my Substack newsletter, Powerlines, check out my website, which I'll tag in the description. If there is something in your life that you feel is out of control, using hypnosis can turn that around. Well, today I'm taking a page out of a medieval manuscript and talking about the importance of naming the demons. This requires a bit of explanation because I'm not talking about literal demons here. In ancient belief, names were important. In Hebrew religion, there is actually a name for God. Scholars call it the Tetragrammaton, and it consists of 4 Hebrew letters, Yod, He, Vav, He, Final. As Hebrew does not have vowels, there is a debate about how the name of God was to be pronounced. Most scholars these days come up with something like Yahweh, a good attempt. In the past, Jehovah was a popular candidate, but we don't know. Only the high priest in the ancient temple in Jerusalem, who would enter the Holy of Holies once a year to pronounce the name of God, sort of an effort, I guess, to keep God focused on the temple in Jerusalem, only that high priest really knew the pronunciation. But we have no idea what that pronunciation was. People reading scripture in Hebrew would always substitute the word Adonai, or Lord, when they came upon the Tetragrammaton in the text being recited. Many Bible scholars still do the same. And if you're reading the Bible and come upon the word Lord, what you are probably reading is the English translation of Adonai, which is inserted in place of the Tetragrammaton, which the text probably contains. We still see this encoded language. People will say things like, "What in God's name is that?" or "in the name of all that is holy." Likewise, in medieval and Renaissance magic, the belief was that a magician could summon an angel or a demon if the magician could pronounce the correct name of the supernatural being. Now, this point is an indisputable reality. What we call things is important and influences how we think about things. For example, you will have 2 very different conversations with someone if you say their behavior is sinful versus saying it's mistaken. When other people call us by our name, we can often tell what sort of relationship they think we have. Now, my first name is Charles, but I usually go by my middle name, which is Scott. So if someone calls me Charlie, that betrays that they don't know me well, if they know me at all. And many people have a diminutive form of their name that they invite intimates to use. For example, my wife's first name is Lindsay, but she's given me permission to call her Linz as a sign of our closeness. Now, in our psychological life, therapists teach clients to be careful about their interior narrative. It makes a difference what you tell yourself in the privacy of your mind, because all of us have an inner narrative that we tell ourselves as we explain the world to ourselves. For example, it makes a difference in how we respond if we label one of our emotional states as anger rather than, say, disappointment. Around the world, Scripture tells that people need to depart darkness and come into the light. Different scriptures use different words, but the idea is the same. Once you give a situation a name, you are clarifying how you consider it. You are bringing it into the light. Someone on a date will have a different feeling about a partner if they tell themselves that, well, he's a braggart, versus, gee, he's confident, or that she is extroverted versus flirtatious. The words you use in your mind have an enormous power to influence your perception of reality. So, by the words you choose, you're bringing stuff in your experience and in your unconscious mind and in your emotions into the light of awareness. Now, the good thing about this is that it provides you with an interior tool you can use to control how you feel and react. Before you give something a negative label in your mind, consider for a moment if there isn't a more adaptive description you could use instead. If you got a bad performance review at work, it will help you a lot. If you decide to describe that to yourself as an opportunity for improvement versus an unfair evaluation or a bullying one. How you name that determines a lot about your feelings and what you're going to do. So to some degree, the medieval magicians were correct. Naming the demon or the angel or whatever does give you some power over it. And one thing more. We all benefit from self-examination. It's always a wise practice to reflect on the things going on in our lives and ask what they mean. Because human beings can mislead themselves. We all have the capacity for self-delusion or a toxic defensiveness. Putting an honest label on how we're feeling, even in our own self-talk, can be the first step to serious self-improvement. Someone who says something like, I didn't really try as hard as I should have, I made a mistake, will have a different path to a future because they name the problem as a mistake versus someone who claims they had bad luck just to avoid any self-criticism. There is a saying in the recovery movement that you are as sick as your secrets. It's the stuff about yourself that you will not honestly name, which will really mess you up, even if you tell no one else. At least be honest in naming the demons in your own personality, because you'll be far better off if you do that. Thank you for your time and attention. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, it helps me a lot if you tell others about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You're welcome to subscribe to my Substack using the buttons you'll find on this post or on my website. And if you're wondering if I can be of help to you, consider working directly with me. Feel free to reach out through my website for a complimentary, no-obligation discovery call, and we'll talk about it. Have a great week.